We are in an offbeat location today because MWTV today is talking about an offbeat car. Wherever we went with this car, from traffic cops to bystanders, everyone was curious about this car. But their first question always was, what brand is it? And whenever we mentioned the brand, they always wondered, what brand is this of? It was absolutely unheard for them. This brand has been in India for the last 9 months, and if still people do not even recognize or know that this brand is present, then that means there is some lapse in terms of marketing from the brand. But honestly, it's not a new brand. In fact, this brand is 100 years old, 1919 to be precise. It is the result of the revolution post World War I, where the visionary man himself changed the way the French looked at their cars. Bringing about the automobile revolution in France, today we are talking of Citroën. Citroën is characteristically French, and honestly it holds to its credit a lot of world first records. For example, Citroën was the world's first car with disc brakes. They introduced the world's first car with leveling suspension, and they are legendary for their comfort. Of course, a lot has changed over the years. The brand has changed hands so many times, we almost lost count who owns it now. But as of today, Citroën is owned by the Stellantis Group based in Netherlands. The Stellantis Group is a 50-50 association between the American firms of Fiat Chrysler Group and the French firms of PSA, that is Peugeot and Citroën. As Indians, we have had some experience with Peugeot many years ago in the late 90s. But Citroën has just forayed a couple of months ago. February was the launch, and since April the sales figures of this one car that they have come up with are present and can be tracked. MWTV here is bringing to you today the Citroën C5 Aircross. We really thought it might help our viewers to understand what's so special about this car, who is the right person to buy this car, and what really makes it stand apart from all the other cars in this price range, because honestly this car has a lot of competition from cars below its segment as well as some cars just a little above its segment. So now we need to understand why this car would be priced at the point where it has been introduced by Citroën, which makes it open to so much competition and makes it so difficult to choose this particular car. Yet it does have some redeeming qualities. What are they? Let's find out. Today we have with us the Citroën C5 Aircross. We have the top end variant. There are two variants. There's only a diesel powered engine here for us. We have the top end variant with us, that too in the dual tone shade. So here we go with the characteristic Citroën C5 Aircross. These are the two chevrons which have been the logo of Citroën right from 1919. And while some say the grills on some cars have been increasing, in reality the Citroën logo has been shrinking, and this is the classiest, simplest implementation of their logo. We have a very massive striking front here, which is split with DRLs, headlamps, and in case you miss it out, fog lamps all the way here. These also serve as the cornering function. The one recurrent theme in this car is trapezoidal elements. You see them here shaded in maroon. You will see them here, you will see them by the side of the car as we go, and even inside the car. This variant has a nice bulging bonnet. There's two deep recesses here which make it look very muscular. It's finished really well here with this black slats here as well as the air dam here, giving it a very chunky appearance overall. But as you can see from this stance, it's not massive. This is by no means a SUV. It is, although, a wonderful crossover. So what makes this crossover special? While we discover what's special about this particular Citroën, you can know more about the history of Citroën by going to mwtv.in, and under our History of Brands section, do check out the entire journey of Citroën from 1919 to here and what makes this particular launch in India special. While you're at that, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel of MWTV, as well as subscribe to the newsletter and register on the website mwtv.in for latest updates, news, reviews, advice, trivia and a whole load of articles all related to premium luxury cars only. And if that's not enough, you can also check us out on Instagram. Our handles are below. We are also now active on Facebook and Twitter. Such cars often pose a dilemma to those who are confused between their heart and their head. MWTV can help you decide. If you're not sure what car to buy, just reach out to us on 942-3369-888. The number should be flashing right below, 942-3369-888. You can reach us on phone or WhatsApp and we'll help you decide if this is the right car for you, or at this budget you should be looking at something else. Now let's look at the Citroen C5 Aircross style variant. While this car is best known for its comfort, no doubt about that, because it rides on 18-inch wheels, and Citroen has given us Michelin wheels right from the start. It's got a very flared up wheel arch here, but this part is quite black plastic, and this metal is finished in good quality paint. You have black painted ORVMs even in the top variant. You get a puddle lamp right here. There are no cameras here, but the mirrors are heated, and there's a blind spot warning indicator, an orange light of sorts that goes up based on the sensors. We have a lot of parking sensors in the front. Both side driver doors have an access to a key as well as a request sensor. Just tapping it unlocks the car, and you can simply open the door as long as you have the key in your hand. This is a two-door variant, but there is a small glass area behind the D pillar, between the C and the D pillar, which gives you a view only into the parcel area. This is a strictly 5-seater, and more on that later. What a wonderful 5-seater this is. The trapezoidal elements, as we had mentioned, continue all throughout the side running board, but they don't look the best in this maroon. In some other variant shades they come as silver. It could have been finished better. It's just a show, it's just a gimmick, and there is no functional element to any of these. The rear wheels are also similar. As we go around the back, this part reminds me a bit of the Mini Cooper Countryman, but honestly I feel the rear LED lamps are the striking feature of this car. If you are following this car, you cannot miss out once again the trapezoidal elements in these 4 trapezoid elements in this tail lamp here and here. At the rear, we again have a host of parking sensors. There is the 2 chevron Citroen logo very prominently displayed. And of course you have a request sensor for the tailgate, but there's a nice party trick, and that is a simple swipe of your leg and the tailgate will open. So in case your hands are full with shopping bags or you have something in your hand, it's a nice wide boot that you can look at. 580 liters of boot space with a good quality parcel shelf. The triangle hidden here, well covered, lovely pivot strings to hold the parcel shelf in space. There is one charging point in the boot. Everything else is clean, well laid out, cavernous amounts of space, and the operation is very simple. Touch of a button and you can close your tailgate. The exhausts, again you have a trapezoidal element at the base here, but those are similar to a fake exhaust vent and not really fully functional. You have the badging here, but you don't have the variant mentioned anywhere. We come to the fuel lid, and that's also got a lovely tap function to it. Clearly has a separate filler for AdBlue, as this is a BS6 diesel engine. The C5 Aircross is a 5-seater at best, and it does not pretend to be otherwise. But it's a very comfortable 5-seater because you have 3 distinct individual seats at the rear. So it would seat 3 people comfortably, but if there are only 2 people, they might miss out on the fact that you will get no armrest whatsoever. The third occupant, the middle occupant, might find that the flat tunnel transmission is a boon for his legs, but this protruding AC vent will hit his or her knees whenever the driver happens to brake. Also, there's nothing in the rear for the passengers. There's no AC controls, there's no additional AC vents, there's just one lone charging point. There's comfort, of course, like we keep telling you. The seats are very comfortable with these 6-pack abs everywhere. And I really didn't understand the logic of fabric, then some other weird fabric, then leather, then another type of fabric, then again the black fabric, grey leather and grey fabric. Each seat of these 3 can move fore and aft individually, so you can arrange that. And to adjust them, there's a very flimsy rudimentary pull type of lever which collapses it as well as helps you bring it right back up. The interesting part is there is a proper 3-pointer seat belt for the middle occupant, and I like that there's full safety and each of the seat belts can be marked up there. So at best 5-seater, comfortably 4-seater, but there's nothing you can do about the middle compartment, and except for these scooped out pockets. The other quality here is that these rods are finished beautifully in black and are very smooth to operate. That's what it is like in the rear, comfortable but Spartan. Coming to the engine, which is a BS6 diesel, as you can make out looking at the AdBlue section in the fuel filter. It is a 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel engine which churns out about 168 bhp or 170 PS of power and 400 Newton meter of torque. This is mated to a very beautiful 8-speed automatic gearbox. There is only one variant and it's automatic. The power of this car is very linear, very smooth, but we'll find more about that while we drive. The dimensions are interesting, as this is a 4500mm car. You'll see the dimensions mentioned below, but it does not look the size. The chunk and the hunk kind of betray the fact that it's a massive and a large car so to look at, yet it is quite small, and unfortunately it does not have the ground clearance to justify the tag of an SUV. It is a crossover at best, but as a crossover, does it really work the way it should? Let's take a drive to find out. So the best part about this Citroen C5 Aircross, the name Aircross comes from the fact that it has air suspension. This definitely reflects well when you're driving, as you can almost glide over most of the small undulations on the road and even minor potholes. In fact, those characteristic rumbler strips, well, they don't really rumble inside the cabin. So that is smooth. When it comes to the drive, the position is very comfortable, but I found that there are no memory seats for the driver. It is an electronically operated seat, so that's good. Power delivery is very smooth. You do not feel any turbo lag. In fact, this engine has definitely surprised me. I was not expecting it to be so smooth, and it's got loads of power to potter all around. When you do ask for that little bit of extra power push, you can hear the engine become a little more rough, but it's still not at all gruff. So that's very smooth, very refined, fun to drive, no doubt. Handling is average. It's not exceptional, but it's not that bad. It's not as if the steering is vague. The steering weighs up nicely. Very smooth to drive, does not feel like a big car. Well, it isn't actually a really big car, so it feels planted, it feels stable. Even at triple-digit speeds, it does feel solid and well built all throughout. The brakes have a very good bite because of the all-round disc brakes. The display in front is display right behind the steering is not really to the best of my liking, because it's actually got no dials. Everything is digital. Even the RPM meter, the rev counter, is a bar that slides across, as you could see probably in the other camera footage. Not really fun, but it does have a very crisp display, and you can change around some of the settings. Most of the other settings can be changed from the center console here, where we have 3 color options to give the entire UI, which is red, blue and brown. Okay, nothing wow. And at the same time, it's not as if it changes with the mode that you're in, like whether you're in sports mode or you're in eco mode and something changes. It's not like that either. For which you have buttons right here. You have to keep it pressed for 2 seconds for it to engage. I'm engaging sports mode now, and there's no audible warning. There's no change on the console except a small button that says sport, so you don't really hear it. You can hear the engine become a little louder now. It's a little audible, but otherwise the cabin is extremely well refined. NVH is under control. The ride quality is superb, and that's, I think, the outstanding redeeming feature of this car. There's a tiny beep at 80, and everything seems to be laid out well for the driver's reach, but I think this orientation has not changed. This is still from the LHD models probably. I would have preferred the gear stock probably here. The drive mode selector gets a lot of prominence here, which really isn't required. You get your 2 cup holders here. They are backlit. That's really nice. You have a few buttons here with toggle like switches. That's fun. And that's about it for the drive. The turning radius is nice and short, very comfortable. The indicator stalks are good. The paddle shifters are plastic and they feel that part. So everywhere, as soon as you start touching elements that are beyond what you obviously see, you will find a lot of hard plastics and a lot of not so nice touch. The horn pad is very soft. It's nice to reach. The part of this steering is good to control and good to hold. The indicator stalks feel nice in your hand but are definitely plastic. There's no premium finish there. These AC knobs for controlling the airflow, they also seem a little poor in terms of the quality that is expected at this price point. At no point of time does the car feel underpowered. Neither does it give you any less confidence when you're just trying to switch lanes or pull in a bit of a maneuver around traffic. When engaging eco mode, the throttle response is extremely muted, and that makes it really difficult to kind of enjoy the car at all. The seats are extremely comfortable. They cushion well. There's good bolstering support. There's a button for lumbar support as well, only for the driver's side seat. In fact, the passenger side seat does not get electronically operated seats at all, and the levers are a bit tough to get your head around. So, but this combination of fabric with leather definitely makes me feel in some parts as if there is something different to it, and over a long drive that's not a very comfortable feeling to have. That being said, the seat has good support at all angles. The lack of ambient lighting in the cabin is a bit of a downer, meaning there is ambient lighting, but I could not find the option to change the color. It seems to be white, which is fair. It looks nice. And if we let in a little more light, you heard that. That took its own sweet time because it's a pretty long sunroof. It's panoramic. So, now that we have driven the Citroën C5 Aircross and had some good time to spend with it, I can probably explain what would be the right person for whom this car would be a good choice to purchase. 43 degrees outside, the AC was underwhelming. The power was linear and the engine was refined, but the only standout quality was the ride quality. So if you're a family of 5 or 4 who like to travel for more than 200-300 kilometers from your place of work to your hometown, for example, then this is a good car to have, because the boot with 580 liters of space will swallow up the luggage for all those 5 members. It's also a good car because all the occupants will sit comfortably. If you're not an enthusiastic driver, you won't mind this torquey, creamy, refined diesel engine, which is quite frugal as well. But anything beyond that, and you're going to be left wanting. For example, if you're looking for a 7-seater comfortable car, then the Innova would come to mind. If you're looking for a proper brutish SUV to go to those roads in your hometown which are not very accessible or not very tarmac friendly, then the Citroën C5 Aircross will not suffice. If you're looking for more tech, more gadgets like cooled seats, ventilated seats, better touchscreen and all that, wireless charger and all that jazz, then there are so many cars below this price point competing in this space who have proved and delivered better. In fact, the new ones coming up even have tools like ADAS in them. Then of course there's a fact that it's a new brand. So if you want to stand out and if you want people to turn around and notice, sure, this is the right car for you, because everyone's busy wondering what brand is this, and they have all sorts of questions to ask you. But there's another question that does come with that. What about long-term reliability? What about maintenance and service? What about the quality of parts and the cost of upkeep? Well, these questions we don't have the answer for yet, but at MWTV we shall ensure that as and when we have answers for that, we shall let you know. Have you taken a test drive of the C5 Aircross yet? If not, why? Let us know in the comment section below. Would you consider this car, or it's not even in your consideration list? We look forward to hearing your comments. If you do want a test drive of the C5 Aircross, get in touch with us at MWTV 942-3369-888. The number is flashing right below. Or you can log on to our website mwtv.in. You can catch us up on Instagram. Do comment there. The top commenters on YouTube and Instagram stand a chance to get featured in our next video or win some goodies from MWTV. So this is Suraj signing off with this C5 Aircross, which was C, very comfortable, C, very good to see, but yet to be seen what happens with it in the future. Let's look forward to better cars and to decode your cars. MWTV. Until next time.